All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Max and Men Talk Hockey. Today we're with third round pick of the Nashville Predators, Adam Ingram. Adam, how are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, of course, Max. How are you? I know we haven't done one of these interviews in a while. We spent a lot of time preparing for the draft on the live stream. Yep. So we're just gonna get started, and so Adam, you're from Manitoba. That's up in Canada, and why did you want to go the USHL route instead of going Junior A or playing in the WHL?
Yeah, I think for me, I grew pretty late, as most guys grew pretty early, and I probably didn't grow till about 16 or 17. So I wasn't ready to play in the Western League around then. So I felt like it was a good option just for me to play in the MJHL for a year, and then try and move into like the BCHL or the USHL, and then try and go play college. So I kind of took that route, and I think it worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the WHL is notorious for its really big guys. Definitely a lot tougher than the OHL or the Q out in uh, the eastern part of Canada. And the USHL is very good, and almost everyone there goes NCAA D1. So, of course, we could definitely see that happening. All right, Max, you got.
Yeah, so with all the good NCAA colleges out there, why did you choose St. Cloud? And was there anything special about the college that really got you to want to go there?
Yeah, so I chose pretty early. I committed around July last year, right after the Youngstown camp in June. So I only had two offers then, but it was a good option for me. I felt like St. Cloud reached out really early, about 7 months before any other school did. And, it's fairly close to home, so family and friends can come watch me play. It's about a 6 hour drive, so I really like that aspect of it. And then I think they have a great setup there, and a great coaching staff. And I was out there for 2 weeks, and they got a great group of guys as well. So I'm looking forward to it this year.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, what was the other college that gave you an offer?
That was UConn.
Oh, nice. That's a good program around us, where Max and I are from. So we're pretty familiar with just UConn itself. Um, of course, this past Friday, you were picked by Nashville, 82nd overall. That's in the third round. So, of course, how did it feel to be picked by such a great organization like the Predators?
Yeah, obviously it was sitting up there and just waiting to hear your name get called. You're a little bit nervous, but a lot of relief comes off after you hear your name get called. And it was just a super exciting time for me, especially having my family and with me there. So it was really good, and to be selected by the Predators was just a bonus. So I'm super excited, and I've been out here for a couple days, and I love the city, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what I can do in the future here.
Yeah, totally. Max?
Yeah, so in your career, you've played for a bunch of different teams. I'm sure you've had some great memories, but if you had to pick your greatest memory, what would you say?
Yeah, back in Bantam, we won the provincial championships, and then I went to Westerns. So unfortunately, we didn't win there, but we finished third. But we swept the playoffs completely. We won, I believe it was 11 straight games. So and we were third in the regular season. So it was pretty impressive for us to do that. And then it was just a blast that year. So that's probably it. That's probably it for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kind of sounds like Ben's team a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I was what was I? A couple years ago, I think that was 2017, 2018. I think it was my last year of Pee Wees before I went up to Bantams. We had a decent season. I think we went like 20, 25, like four, and some other random tie number. And then we got, I think, ranked sixth in the state out of six for the playoffs, and then we ended up winning everything. So we won a playing game, and then we beat our rivals in the semis, and then the finals was about the same. We beat another really strong team. We ended up winning states, and again, we didn't go all the way in districts, which is, I guess, your version of westerns.
Yeah.
or our version of westerns. But yeah, it was still pretty fun. And then I think the season after that, we went undefeated and we won states again. But districts got canceled because of COVID, so we couldn't really go there. But yeah, that was about it.
That's pretty awesome though. It's a blast always the playoffs, best time of the year.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely fun. It's nerve wracking, especially since I was a goalie when I played. It was definitely nerve wracking being there, but it was still pretty good. Um, my next exercise, or sorry, not my next exercise. My next question is just outside of hockey, what are your passions and what do you like to do?
Yeah, in the summer especially, I'm a really big golfer, so I'll probably golf twice or three times a week, maybe four, sometimes five. So I golf quite a bit in the summer. So other than hockey and working out, I'm always at the golf course pretty much.
Yeah, totally. I don't think I'm much of a golfer, Max. You much of a golfer, or do you?
It's on my bucket list.
Uh, yeah, I haven't really gotten around to it. Uh, yeah. And I guess also just adding on to that, since you mentioned working out, I guess just like, what's your favorite type of workout, and why do you find working out to be fun?
Yeah, so my workouts that I'm doing right now, they're pretty much they're all full body, so it's legs, arms, all that kind of stuff in one. But um, I mean, we have a great group of guys at the gym I work out at. So there's probably four or five of us that go there. Got drafted this year, which is pretty cool. So it's always exciting going there every day in the morning, just working hard and having fun with the guys. So yeah, it's a blast there.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, so obviously getting drafted is huge, but what was kind of like the immediate process after getting drafted and getting to like hug your family real quick? Like what happened right after that?
Yeah, so it was kind of I didn't really like it was kind of just like I was in shock for a couple seconds and then I gave my parents a hug and then dapped my brother up. So um went down and then I shook one of the guys' hands, threw the jersey on. I was pretty fired up and then I got to meet all the guys at the table down there. So it was really cool. It was exciting and then took about or I had an interview and then I took a bunch of pictures, but um, I mean overall it was a great experience. It was super cool. I mean, obviously not everyone gets that opportunity, but I mean, it was like once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm super happy I went.
Yeah, totally. I guess this can bring us into our main point of the interview, which is the combine. So, of course, before the draft, I believe a month before, you and of course all the other draft picks have to go out to the combine. So, how do you get invited to the combine in the first place? And why did you decide to go there instead of you can obviously skip it and say no?
Yeah. So kind of just like they sent an email to I believe it's the top 100 North America prospects and then top 100 uh, Europe or like the Europe region 100 prospects as well. I think there was only like 85 guys there though. Um, so I don't know. I thought it was a good idea for me to go just to be able to meet with all the teams and uh, let them know what I was about. So because I had quite a few interviews there and it was a good experience and then some fitness testing as a bonus. So yeah, it was overall it was really good and uh, I do suggest going to it if you're in the position to get drafted.
Yeah, so you touched on it a little bit, but is the whole process? Is it like you do some physical tests and then you do interviews, or is it like different kinds of physical, mental tests? Like how does that all work?
Yeah, so the first you get we left like 2 days early, so we got there. We left on Saturday and then stayed in Toronto and then flew or no bus to Buffalo the next day just because all the Canadians going would have had to um, get like a COVID test, so it just kind of saved the hassle of that. And then it started on Monday. It was just interviews, and the first couple days were all interviews, and then There's some balance testing on the Wednesday, and then I believe the VO2 is on the Thursday, and there's like interviews still involved in that, and then Friday was just a couple interviews to wrap it up, and then just the big fitness testing. So I mean, overall, like it was a pretty busy week for me and most of the guys there, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I heard about the VO2 thing. Like I think Shane Wright was talking about it, but some of the guys were saying that some of the exercises were like super hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the bike tests were very fun. Didn't really feel good after. Actually, so on the VO2, it's like the resistance goes up every minute, and um, you just go as long as you can, pretty much staying over 80 RPMs. And I mean, after I couldn't get off the bike, so it was pretty funny. Like the guy was like, "You got," so I finished, and the guy's like, "You got to keep pedaling." I'm like, I can't move my legs." He's like, "You got to." So he started like pushing my legs, and then after a while, he's like, "Hey, you can get off," and then couldn't get off. I couldn't stand up, so it was pretty funny. I don't suggest doing that unless you have to, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, the place where I go work out, we have these things called erg bikes, and it's from this company that makes rowing machines, and they make these bikes that they have no resistance when you bring your legs up, but it's like you push down all the time, and it's really hard on your legs. And my coach gives us a bunch of workouts that we do on those things. So for those, I'm on for like an hour to 2 hours, and afterwards, it's like I can barely even move my legs. So I definitely feel that. Um,
Yeah, it's not you just want to go right to bed after that.
oh yeah,
But it's not like it's not good if you do that, but it's like that's what you want to do.
yeah. I mean, of course, I can't really do that. Just you drink water, you get like sugars in your body, and you're good. Is
Yeah.
what I heard. And just another question is, do you think the combine workouts like play in a draft selection? Because I know obviously the NFL it's really big on its combine. The NBA I don't even think has a combine, but I know for a fact the NFL combine is huge, and of course the results there show definitely play in a draft selection. But do you think fitness testing does play in a draft selection, or is it mostly the interviews?
I'm not 100% sure. I think they look a little bit at the fitness testing, but I think that's more like the strength coaches that look at that, and they take more of a look at it than like the scouts and the GMs would, because they obviously they do that for a living. So they take a pretty deep look at that, but I'm not sure if like it makes a huge difference, but I think it could make a little bit of a difference for sure.
Got it. What are like some of the other fitness workouts that you did? I know there's like push-ups involved. And is there like benching or squats or anything else that you have to do?
Yeah, so it was the VO2 on Thursday, and then Friday morning was they started off with like your height and then your wingspan, and then you went over and you did it was like, what was that? Oh, it was broad jumps. So you got like three attempts there as far as you go, obviously, and then you did like a bench for speed. It was like half your body weight, three reps, and it was like velocity of the bar going up. And then there was like three different vertical jumps with like one was like a squat jump, one was like hold your hands on your hips and jump, so you didn't really get any momentum going up, and then the last one was he'd like tell you when to squat, and then like when and you hold it at the bottom, and then you jump, and then still had your hands on your hips. So those were kind of interesting. I'd never done those before. I mean, I practiced them a little bit, and then those were a little bit difficult. And then after that, it was just a 5, 10, 5, one each way, and then pull ups, and then just finished off with the Wingate, which is not a great end, but it was okay.
Got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Max.
yeah. So with the interviews, I heard some of the crazy questions have been asked, like what animal would you be if you could describe yourself? But what were some of the interview processes like? What were some of the questions you were asked?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get any crazy questions. I did hear like some of my buddies that were there got asked a couple crazy questions, but or they just like they got some heat, but I didn't really have too much of that. Um, I got a little bit of that, but it wasn't too bad. So I mean, I felt like it could have been a lot worse. But I mean, for me, I thought the interviews went well and had some good conversations, and some teams tried to like challenge me with some questions. But overall, I think I did pretty well with it.
Yeah, totally. I remember seeing a video about it was Brian Burke talking about how he ran his interviews, and Brian Burke was the GM of multiple teams. But I think he was talking about his time with Calgary, and he said whenever he did his combine interviews, he'd always ask like two questions. Um, and one was about like what type of watch are you wearing, and the other one was what dog breed do you have if you have a dog. And it kind of gets like the prospect thinking like I guess we'll just start for like the I guess we'll start for the watch question. It's like if the guy is wearing like a knockoff, like he can't say it's a knockoff. But if he's wearing a Rolex, he can't say it's a Rolex because that just makes him sound like he's just full of money. So he has to like find a medium, and that's like the same thing for a dog, where it's like you can't say a mutt because then it looks like you're just picking dogs off the street and you look pretty bad. Or you can't say like some really expensive dog or a dog that has like a name like a poodle or something because then it looks like I don't know you're using just you just have a lot of money and that also looks pretty bad. At least that's what Brian Burke said. Um, yeah, so it was like some pretty wacky things. And I guess my next question is out of the teams that were there, which teams actually interviewed you?
Yeah. So when I was there, I had 27 interviews. So I had quite a few.
I guess
Um,
what are the teams that didn't interview you?
yeah. So I think it was Toronto, Buffalo, um, Columbus, Minnesota. Um, I'm not 100% sure. I kind of just like took a brief look at it, and I think that's Toronto, Buffalo, Minnesota. Yeah, I'm not
So
100. I know those are for sure three of them though. I know that.
got it. Yeah, I guess then which ones were like your favorite? I know, of course, Nashville picked you, but which interviews do you think you did the best in?
Well, I had a pretty cool one actually. I went into Colorado's, and um, we started off the interview by like he had like a garbage can like that was empty like halfway across the room. It was like 5 meters from him and 5 meters from me, and we started off and we were like throwing candy in the bucket. So it was pretty like it was my first interview too. So or no second interview. So it was pretty cool. So I didn't know what it was going to be like, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, he said he did say I was the first one that beat him all day too. So I was pretty pumped about that.
Oh, nice. I don't know. I don't know. Like I've heard teams would do weird things, but I didn't. I wouldn't think like that would be something they would do. Why do you think they did that?
I'm not sure. Maybe just like I think at the start he asked me if I was competitive, and then he was like, "Oh, do you want to win?" I was like, "Don't want to lose." Um, so yeah, I think we threw five each, and I got all five in. And he missed his last one, so he only got four in. I don't know. Maybe it was just for fun, or maybe like they were trying to like get a reaction or something like that. I have no idea though. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty fun. Max.
Yeah, so with the interviews, like, how many people are in the room, and like, who are you talking to? Is it scout, general manager? Like, how does that work out?
Yeah, so some teams would have only like two or three, and then their GM wouldn't be there, and then other teams would have like close to 10 or 11 or 12, and their GM would be in there. So I think it kind of just depended on um, how many guys could get out to the combine, and then I think the GMs were there's probably out of my 27, there's probably about 15 GMs in there. Um, but I mean, I'm not sure how they base it, if some GMs don't come or they don't go to certain interviews, and um, if if the teams just only sent a couple guys, but um, yeah, it was different for all of them pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you got drafted by Nashville. Would you say like Nashville was your best interview, or
Yeah, I felt like I had a good interview with them. They seemed pretty interested in there, and I felt like it was pretty good. It was I think I had them on the first or second day, so it was one of my earlier interviews. But yeah, I felt good after that one, and I mean I was lucky enough to get selected here, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Were there any interviews where you thought that you didn't do a good job in, or were they all kind of just pretty good and it was up to the team?
Yeah, I actually like one of them. Like it was my eighth interview of the day. Like it was I had like five in a row back to back, and I was just like completely gassed, and I was just like I was struggling in there. Like it was a tough go, that last one I had that day.
Oh, what team was that one?
That was Anaheim. It was yeah, it wasn't a great interview for me, but I made it through. I didn't think it went like it wasn't like super bad, but it was like I kind of lost my focus a couple times, and but I mean it was a long day, so I mean hopefully they understood.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they would. If they didn't, that wouldn't be really good, and that wouldn't really be fair to you. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
I guess like on average. Sorry.
I was just gonna say like yeah like they asked when I got in there like how many have you had today? I was like oh this is my eighth, and they're just like oh okay, so I hope they understood, but.
Yeah. How long did the interviews last? Did they last like hour, or did they last like hours, or was it like 20 minutes?
Yeah, each one was like 20 minutes. Some teams would just like they'd be quicker than that. It'd be like 10 or 15, and then other teams would keep you like 25 or something like that. So it kind of just depended on your schedule and uh, how much time you had in between. Because sometimes you'd have like an hour break between an interview, and then other times you'd have 5 minutes and you have to go like right over to the next one.
Got it. Yeah. Max.
yeah? So I'm assuming you're at like a prospects or like a development camp right now. How's and also assuming you've gotten to get some of the other draft picks in Nashville. How's that been? Like just kind of meeting some of the guys that you kind of grew up and maybe watched and like looked into a little bit. Like how's that been?
Yeah, I mean, camp started on Monday, so we've had two skates so far, but so far it's been really good. It's been good to get to know the guys, and yeah, it's been difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a hard 2 days, but we got some yoga tomorrow morning, so hopefully that'll make the body feel a little bit better. But yeah, it's good to get to know some of the guys that have uh, even been here for a couple of years now, and uh, just hear what they have to say about how the camps went, and try and learn some stuff that they know about it.
Yeah, definitely. Who's who reached out to you like from the Nashville Predators organization that like you saw here at Dev Camp? Like, I guess in terms of like players, like who did you recognize and who did you try to talk to?
I mean, like I didn't really know anyone coming here. I knew like a couple of the draft picks because I saw them at the draft with me. Like they had the 84th pick as well. So I kind of did my interview like right before he did, and I talked to him a little bit on draft day, and so I know him a little bit, and we kind of talked. But then once we got here, I kind of just try to learn a couple things from the older guys, and yeah, it's been good. I'm still learning some of the names here though, but there's quite a few guys. There's about 30, so um, they're all really good guys. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess we'll end with over the past like month, like Combine, Draft, Dev Camp. Like, how's the overall experience, and what would you think people could do better to better the experience for everyone?
Yeah, I mean it's been a pretty like overwhelming month, and it's been super busy, but I mean I enjoyed this experience. Obviously, it was a little nerve wracking coming towards the draft. You're trying not to think about it, but it's something that you're gonna think about whether you like it or not. So I mean, for me, I had a good experience with it. I really enjoyed it, but Yeah, so I didn't really have any complaints myself, but I hope other guys didn't as well. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us. Adam, thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So of course, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and just tell everyone about this video. Adam, awesome guy, picked by Nashville, third round. And thank you, everyone.